before we get to Shea Serrano here, and, you may know him from Primo on Amazon,
Thank
though
you,
he's not here. You're welcome, Tony. I should have let you say it. It's the Americanization of me. I can't help
even say
sometimes.
Primo like if it was like Primo
I know.
meat.
I feel like an idiot.
Primo.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm
Said
guessing.
it like me.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
Primo.
Shea, which way do you think? Thank you for being on with us. Primo on Amazon. Which way on Amazon Primo? Which way is it said by most people right now? This show, is it said as Primo?
I've never gotten Primo. It's one of the two that you guys are throwing back and forth, depending on who I'm talking to.
Well, we can't talk about that because of the strike, and I want to just get back to the Hellboy sound because we're going to do Action Heroes, or we're going to do the Action Heroes scouting report with Shea Serrano in a second. And I don't know if Perlman and Hellboy count necessarily as action heroes, but once this quote came out from an anonymous CEO about wanting the writers to lose their homes, here was Hellboy's reaction to that in a video that Perlman filmed on his social media.
One thing before I get off this. Who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments? Listen to me, there's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial, some of it is karma, and some of it is just figuring out who the said that. And we know who said that, and where he lives. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people. You wish that families starve while you're making $27 million a year for creating nothing. Be careful. Be really careful. Because that's the kind of that stirs up. Peace out.
I cannot tell you how delightful it was. Delightful to hear that bird chirping,
the birds singing,
the birds chirping lovingly in the background.
I thought there was ominous music in the background there. It was a plane.
He's got a lot of face. He leads the league in face. He does.
Big head.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Does Hellboy lead the league in face? Your thoughts, Shea. Your thoughts on everything you just heard there.
I love it. I love that he heard that quote and then turned back into Clay Morrow from Sons of Anarchy. He just went right into it. I love that guy. I love him so much.
Did you have him as Clay Aiken, a contestant on American Idol? Is that?
That's my default Clay, which is crazy because in my office I have a framed Clay Morrow illustration in my office right over there.
All right.
But I still go to Clay Aiken.
Put it on the poll. What is Clay Aiken your default Clay?
Clay Matthews for me.
At LeBatard Show. I think I'd go Clay Matthews as well. So tell me,
Clay.
That's a good one too. Who is your default Clay? Send it to us on social media if you've got a different one. But your Action Hero scouting report, please tell me how all of this came together.
The Action Hero scouting report is officially out today. I'm very excited. It's at halfwaybooks.com. The way that it came to be is I was just looking at scouting reports, and I thought, I was reading basketball scouting reports, and they're fun to read. Players good at this, bad at this. They have this tendency, that tendency, in whatever situation. I thought I had not seen a version like that, but with action heroes in it. And so let's just do that. So I just started rewatching a ton of action movies, taking my notes, and then you start to work on it, and you go like, all right, this has legs. This is going to be like a fun thing to do. Several months later, here we are. We have the Action Hero Scouting Report. It's 27 Action Hero Scouting Reports all stitched together into one big project, and I'm super, super excited about it.
Are these what you're describing as the greatest of the 27 action heroes? How many did you pare it down from?
Oh, shoot. It was probably like 100 at the start. And then you have the whole list there, and you want to grab a couple of the greats. You want to grab your John McClane, you want to grab your Rambo, your Dutch from Predator, your Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill, your Furiosa. Like, you want to have those in there, but you also want to have some that maybe you aren't expecting, because every scouting report that you read, it's not just only the greats. You know what I mean? There's like a 27th player in the scouting report as well. So we have some people in there who I don't think anybody would ever call them one of the great. Chance Boudreau from Hard Target, for example. Nobody would ever call him one of the greats. You want to mix it up a little bit. So it's not the 27 greatest, and we clarify that in the beginning. This is across the board.
Help me, though, because Stugotz fancies himself an action hero aficionado. I want him to have a top 5 list as well before we're done here. And I don't know what his qualifications would be for
Stallone.
Top 5. Well, you can just make your list and then have 5 Stallones and be done with it, or you could just give away the joke at the very beginning so that you ruin your own joke. But as you put together the list of 27, can you give us Shea Serrano's expert definition of what an action hero is? Because over the years, I've been lamenting, Shea, how pathetic it is that you can go to the office and get literally the show The Office and find 2 superheroes. Anybody in acting who's over 50 right now, including Liam Neeson, can be an action hero as long as you're over 50. You cannot be you're not allowed to be someone who's younger than 50. So how do you define an action hero?
Man, so this is an exact question that I asked myself when we started this project. Because what you want to do is you want to put together essentially a grading rubric. All action heroes across all movies, they have 6 things in common. Those 6 things, I'm gonna run through them real quick right now. They all start with an inciting event. What's the inciting event for this action hero? What's the thing that sent them into motion, right? You mentioned Liam Neeson. He starred in Taken. That was 2008. And in that movie, the inciting event is his daughter gets kidnapped by human traffickers, Albanian human traffickers. Boom, that's his inciting event. We're off there. So you always have that. You always have to have, there's a determination category. Every action hero, they face impossible situations and impossible odds and impossible enemies. If they're not super determined, it's not going to turn out great for anybody. You also have the skills training. What sort of skills does this action hero have?
Skills.
Liam Neeson in Taken, that's an ex-Green Beret, an ex-CIA member. Like, he's got a lot of skills right there. You're calculating that as well. You also have the cool factor category. An action hero, above all other things, needs to be cool. They need to look cool. They need to say cool things. Other people need to say cool things about them. They need to do cool things. There you go. That's super important. There's the wishnificance category. This is a made-up word to describe that feeling you get in your chest when you're watching a movie and you go like, man, I think I would like to be John Wick for like 2 hours. That seems pretty great. I would love to do that. And then lastly, there's the legacy level. And in that one, that's like how did or did not this action hero advance the action movie genre or action heroes as a figure in cinema? Like if they have a big legacy, like John McClane in Die Hard, who changed everything when he showed up in 1988, big legacy level score. If they Chance Boudreau, who we talked about a couple of minutes ago, didn't really change anything. Fun character, a movie directed by John Woo. Like it has little pieces of historical significance in there, but he's not going to rate anywhere near like a John McClane type character. So once we have those 6 grading pieces in place, then you're just plugging in numbers for each category, and that's how you get what we're calling an action hero score, and then that helps you determine where to situate your action heroes.
But just to be clear, because this is a comprehensive list by you, thoroughly examined, I'm hoping, and you're hoping, that no one has ever given this much brain power or thought to doing something like this. That's why it would make for good reading material. But the 27 is diversity, is I'm going to go off the board. I'm not going to just go popular. But your top 5, the way you just defined it, your top 5 check all of those boxes, correct? You're not calling them the top 5 action heroes necessarily, but your top 5 check those boxes most thoroughly, each of them, right? Have the most range.
They're all going to have very high scores in each of those categories. That is correct.
All right, so let's start with number 5. Do you have any outside looking in, or we're just going to go straight to the top 5, number 5?
You know what we did is we modified this a bit. Rather than just doing a top 5, which everybody has done, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change it a little bit. This is if you needed to be avenged. Give me the top 5 action heroes you would call if you needed to be avenged. Let's say you got killed and you're a ghost. And you call and you're like, hey, I need you to go avenge me. Who are the 5 that you're going to call?
Oh my
That's what we're doing here, okay?
Right.
On the outside looking in, I'll give you 2 on the outside looking in. John McCall in the Equalizer. His friend gets killed by the mob. He goes nuts. It's at the end of the movie. It's him versus the mob in a hardware store. It friggin' rules. It's incredible. He's on the outside looking in. One more on the outside looking in. Very underrated movie. Very underrated character. John Kelly in the movie Without Remorse is Michael B. Jordan. In that movie, his pregnant wife gets murdered by Russian operatives. Now he's off on the loose. Those guys were right on the outside. Here's my number 5 pick.
Oh, hold on a second, though. Hold on, if I may. Just Stugotz, does your top 5 have any OLIs, or are we just going to go?
No, I have 2 as well. So my first one.
So yes.
Yes. Outside looking in.
So not no, just to be clear. So not no, yes.
It was a no. I have 2 as well.
Yeah,
I do
no,
that.
yes.
So not no,
it's a weird
yes.
verbal tick that I have. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yes.
Yeah. So I have 2 as well. Okay, Shay. No,
right,
but
give
I
it
have
to
2. Okay.
No, but yes.
No, yes, I have 2. Okay. John McClane, outside looking in. And Indiana Jones, outside looking in.
Excellent.
And I can't believe he didn't make my top 5.
2 classics.
yeah.
No reasons. They're just in.
I've been told, though, that the line.
Outside looking in. Yeah.
Does Indiana Jones really count? Because
What do you
it's
mean?
really an adventure movie than it is an action movie,
boy,
right?
Roy.
No, that's an action movie.
Thank
That is
you.
an action
Thank
movie.
You, Shay.
Thank you.
But
Roy.
he absolutely is not who you would call if you needed to be avenged.
Right.
You wouldn't call him, but I would. So, I mean, it's my list.
He spends the whole first movie getting all of it taken every single time he has a thing. Like, that's all he does in the first movie.
Yeah,
It's
but
crazy.
the guy brought a
About
sword.
one of my favorites.
A guy brought a sword to a fight. He pulled out a gun and he shot him. I mean, he's
I
smart.
laughed
That
so
was
hard
really-
at that.
Really slick,
That's
really
correct.
great move.
But it's not if you need to be avenged. It's if you need an archaeological artifact of some sort. That would be a good person.
It's my list, Dana.
It is your
It
list.
belongs in a museum.
Yeah, Roy, that's that should have been said from the penalty box because I'm delayed in sending you out of here. Please leave
No,
the
there's no
room.
mic in
Thank
there.
you.
Yeah, that's why I'm sending you there because I don't want you near a microphone because the last time you had it, you used it poorly. So don't come back to it, you. Get out of here! You are the worst at this. 5-minute major, and if I never see you again right now, I am so enraged that it would be okay.
But he's got a top 10 to do.
No, yeah, unfortunately. We'll get to that later. He's the worst at leaving and the worst in general.
Yeah. He had 2 plates of bacon this morning.
He put it in his pockets. Loves the free breakfast. Comes here and eats.
You're not kidding. He was literally putting it in his pocket.
I know. It's embarrassing. I'm aware that whenever there's free meat anywhere, Roy steals it and sticks it in his sweatshirt.
Free.
Number 5, Shay.
All right. If I need to be avenged, the first or 5th phone call that I'm going to make. We just talked about him. It's his whole movie. He jump-started a new era in action movies. Give me Brian Mills from Taken 2008. Liam Neeson's character.
That's a good one.
A good answer.
Ex-Green Beret, ex-CIA member. His daughter kidnapped by Albanian sex traffickers. He burns down all of Paris to get her back. He avenges her. Kills a sheik at the end. That's my 5th pick if I need to be avenged.
Stugotz, what's your number 5?
All right, I call the first 4. They're all busy. Then I get to number 5, and I call Dalton from Roadhouse. Dalton from Roadhouse. What you got, Shay?
Dalton from Roadhouse is in the Action Hero Scouting Report. I love Dalton. I love him. Yeah. He's the action hero who turned philosophy, who turned contemplation into action. Great movie character. I love him. I love this pick for you too.
And he killed a lot of people. Yeah.
Do you have that in your 27? You said he did make your 27, or was he among the 100 for you, Shay?
No, he was in there. He was a no questions asked. Bring him to the front of the line. You gotta have Dalton. The name is Dalton. I love him.
That's so great.
Number 4, Shay.
Number 4. This is an outsider pick. I'm sure not a lot of people are going to have him on here. An underrated movie, 2021, directed by Guy Ritchie. Give me Mason Hargraves from Wrath of Man.
Make the argument for it.
Played by Jason Statham. He's a terrifying leader of a hijacking crew. His son gets killed by another hijacking crew unbeknownst to him, or unbeknownst to them, that he's this like terrifying guy. He joins an armored car company and figures out who did it and just kills everybody. Really, really fun movie. The score does a lot of lifting in that movie. It just feels tense the whole time because of what you're listening to. I really, it's an underappreciated role. I like it a bunch.
So basically just the transporter in an armored car and every Statham movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Every Statham
Okay,
movie.
very good.
Statham makes an appearance in the Action Hero Scouting Report, but it's not this character. It's a different character.
All right.
Number 4, Stugotz.
Snake Plissken, Escape from New York.
You're on fire.
Yes.
You're on fire.
Yes!
You're on fire right now. You're picking every great character.
I'm excited, man.
This is wonderful.
All right, Shea, make the argument on behalf of Stugotz. Did he make your scouting report?
He did not make it.
Huh.
He is not in there. He's mentioned. We talk about him briefly. He doesn't get a full scouting report, but he is one of the greats. If there's an expansion pack, he'll probably be in there. But he is a former military, former special agent who gets convicted of a crime. They send him to basically what's Prison City to rescue a person. Like, that's a great pick. He's also the most clutch basketball player we've ever seen in a movie. In part 2, when he has to do the thing on the basketball court.
You see
where
The
he has
Last
to make a
Dance,
bucket
or,
on each side.
Shea,
He's more clutch than Jordan.
put it on the poll, please, Juju. Was Snake Plissken?
Plissken.
Sorry, easy for me to say. More clutch than Jordan. Stay there, Shea. We'll come back with Action Hero talk next. Look who took the time to join us. This oddball, busy doing his own show, heard that people were talking about action heroes in the other room.
Not basketball.
And he thundered in. He is, I think you may know him, Shea. He is internationally known, huge credibility in the basketball community. He is
Amin Elhassan.
Yes. What up, baby?
What's up, Shea? How's it going?
How are you? Dude, I started listening to Cinephobe.
Yeah?
We were at the beach a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, hey, what are some movie podcasts I should listen to? And they said, listen to this one. So I turned it on. I just picked an episode like at random, and I didn't understand half of the y'all were laughing at. And I just kept listening. And by episode 7, I was like, this is the funniest I've ever heard. Like, you got to really get into it.
It's
Super
slow
nerdy.
burn.
Great work. Great
Yeah,
work.
Thank you. Do you know remember which one was your first one?
I feel like Bloodsport or something like that.
Oh, that's
Like
a
what,
good one.
you know.
Classic, yeah.
Bolo.
I'm sorry to mess up your name, Amin. You know that. Got love and respect for you.
Let me hear the whole sound of Stephen A. Smith, all of the sound. Let's play it for everyone of him respecting the name of Amin Elhassan.
Oh, my Lord. I'm looking Amin Hassan. Hassan, rather. I'm sorry to mess up your name, Amin. You know that. Got love and respect for you.
Sorry, Elamine.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Number 3, Shea.
Number 3, I Need to Be Avenged. My third place person I'm going to call, John Creasy, Man on Fire. Played by Denzel Washington, the greatest actor of our lives, in a movie where he is cutting off fingers and putting bombs in a butt. Former CIA Special Activities Division officer. He takes a job after his life has fallen apart and he's become just an alcoholic washout. Takes a job in Mexico City bodyguarding PETA, played by Dakota Fanning. She gets kidnapped and then murdered, and then he just goes nuts. By the end of the movie, after he has killed everybody, you're really like, man, that guy was really on fire. And then it turns out PETA wasn't even murdered, which is even better. Like, he avenged her and he saved her.
Do you think that Denzel Washington, if you had to guess, enjoys doing Macbeth more or enjoys doing these equalizer roles and these silly roles where he gets to be the training day guy?
Listen, he didn't do Macbeth Part 2, but he did the Equalizer 2, and he's doing Equalizer 3.
Great answer.
He likes those better.
Yep.
The last fight was in a hurricane.
A hurricane, man.
It's incredible.
In a hurricane.
He was fighting a mob guy and a hurricane at the same time.
Number 3, Stugotz.
You call John Creasy, I call John Rambo. How about that?
That's great. That's great. John Rambo was the one who, when I rewatched all of the movies for the Action Hero Scouting Report, his was the movie I was like, man, I like this as an adult. I like it 50 times more than I liked it as a kid. It's just incredible movie making. Just a Vietnam veteran who they do this really great thing in the movie where normally at the end of the action movie, you have the big giant set piece with the biggest fight and whatever. And in this one, it's not that. It's him versus Sheriff Teasel. He gets him down, and then he has a mental breakdown, and he finally just admits all of the stuff that's been rattling around in his head about his experience in the war. Incredible, incredible movie. Great picks, too.
How many movies and hours did you spend rewatching all this stuff because you had to as research?
It's probably like 150 hours of movie watching. But again, you do it over the course of a couple of months. It's a fun thing to do. You just sit at your TV for 6 hours a day watching TV. It's not that hard.
Who'd you leave off that you now regret leaving off? Is there a guy?
I had the Snake Plissken entry loaded up, and then we took that one out of there.
Big mistake.
Yeah, it was, but it doesn't feel like a mistake. When you read the report, it's gonna feel full and vetted. You're gonna love it.
I'm getting to it.
Are there any women on your list?
Yeah, of course. On the list that we have right now?
Yes.
Yeah, my first place pick.
What?
There's only one.
Wow.
All right.
It's only one.
Spoiler alert. Hold
The
on
number one Avenger ever.
Hold on a second. Number 2, Shea.
Oh, number 2. You got to have him. Is the greatest maybe action hero actor of our modern era. It's between him and Tom Cruise. Give me John Wick. If I need to be avenged,
Great.
give me John Wick. He gets his dog murdered. This is 2014. This comes out. Keanu plays an ex-assassin who's out of the game, falls in love. His wife gets sick. She passes away. As a way to help him grieve from the grave, she sends him a puppy. The puppy gets murdered. His car gets stolen. And Keanu just goes on a rampage against the mob. It is now stretched over 4 movies. An incredible, incredible franchise. That's his whole thing, is avenging. I'm going to be all right if he's avenging me.
Stugotz, number 2 for you.
All right, my guy can not only avenge, but he looks like a guy who might be your money manager, and that is Ray Tango.
Oh,
yeah, Ray Tango.
Ray Tango.
Yes, you're excited,
Ray
Jay.
Tango.
He dances in and he waltzes away with my drugs.
I'm so excited. I love Tango and Cash. I think Ray Tango is maybe the most action movie, 80s action movie thing that Sylvester Stallone did. Just what a pick. I love you. You're my favorite person on the show right now.
Wait till we get to number 1.
Number 1, Shea Serrano. Who you got? Number 1, again, a reminder. He's got a new ebook out today called Action Hero Scouting Report. Number 1.
Mm-hmm. Number 1, if I need to be avenged, this person avenged better than anybody has ever avenged in the history of movies. She was murdered. This is an ex-assassin, found out she was pregnant, decides to leave her assassin group. They hunt her down. They beat her up. They kill her. They kill a newborn baby inside of her belly. They kill all of her new friends. They kill a bunch of innocent bystanders. Turns out she's not dead, though. The bullet they put into her head did not kill her. Comes out of a coma 4 years later, hunts them down one by one, ending it by exploding a guy's heart inside of his chest. Give me the bride from Kill Bill.
Stugotz, your number 1?
All right, this action hero was so good, he could do the avenging with a matchstick, and it was never lit. Marion Cobretti.
Oh,
How about that? Cobra.
It's so
Matchstick.
bad. It's so bad.
I'm thoroughly surprised that nobody mentioned John Matrix from Commando. I'm thoroughly surprised.
That's a good one. John Matrix is a really fun one. He's trying to save his daughter in that movie. He does save her. I like my action heroes to be a little more beat up, though. In Commando, he never gets beat up. That's when they were doing the movie where nothing harmed him. He literally jumps out of an airplane while it's 500 feet in the air, lands on the ground in the marsh, and just runs away like nothing happened. It's incredible. I like him to get roughed up some.
I got my top 5 list in case you guys were wondering.
All right. Do you have any OLIs?
Please.
No LIs, just
All
get
right.
right into it.
Number
No
5.
John Eraser Kruger.
Yes.
Arnold
Yes.
Schwarzenegger's character from Eraser. His nickname was Eraser, Dan. Anytime you had a problem, you called the Eraser. He'd come through. And Vanessa Williams called him.
Number 4.
John the Demolition Man Spartan.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well done.
Who
Yes.
Dan once
Demolition
called the Jamal McGlure of action movies.
Yes, of action heroes. Yes, a one-time All-Star, two-time All-Star.
The
That's
big
right.
cat.
You're still bugging. Number 3, Brian Mills from the Taken franchise. And from any other movie where he doesn't play Brian Mills. Blacklight, you're talking Memory, we're talking
Train.
The Ice Road,
Gray.
we're talking about
The
The
Gray.
Train, The
The
Gray.
Gray.
Any movie where you cross Liam Neeson, that's who I'm calling. Number 2, I don't think he's a hero in anyone's book except mine, Bolo.
Bolo.
Not going to
He's a
call
villain.
him. He's not a villain. Do not say that. You know why? Because he killed his own man just to prove a point. That's a man of principle, Roy.
That's what Soze did. Number 1.
And number 1, and this one is
Jose.
too easy. Can't believe none of you guys named this one. Jericho Action Jackson.
Yes.
Great pick. Great pick. That's a fun one. That's a fun one to rewatch if you've not seen it.
Oh my
Some
God.
good Carl Weathers.
Shea, before we get you out of here, because you pride yourself as the world's biggest San Antonio Spurs fan, I just want to play for you the sound of Big Baby Davis saying before Wembanyama gets into the league what's going to happen to Wembanyama.
Please do.
You know what? The length I probably would have struggled with, but the body, oh yeah, tomato chest. They saw, that boy looked like a little baby Bambi out there the other night. You know what I'm saying? Little baby giraffe walking around. I don't think he can handle all this pain. So I definitely would have used my body against that boy.
Your thoughts, Serrano?
I love Glenn Big Baby Davis. I will always in my head have seared into my memory the play when Nate Robinson in celebration jumps up and tries to land on Big Baby Davis's back. And he just falls down because Ben Baby. Oh, no, that was Paul Pierce. Never mind. I don't care about Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Shea, what happened there?
Yeah. That's a rope-a-dope. That's a rope-a-dope.
That's just a dope. There was no rope a dope. It was heavy on the dope, very little rope.
I just got to say, I got to read the tagline from Action Jackson. I have to do this. Name,
please do it.
Jericho Jackson. Nickname, Action. Home, Detroit. Profession, cop. Education, Harvard. Hobby, fighting crime. Weapon, you're looking at him.
Foul.
Good.
Shea, thank you for being on with us, sir. Always good catching up with you. We remind the audience the new ebook is out today, Action Hero Scouting Report. There's also, if you want to go back in the files, you can check out a South Beach Sessions with Shea Serrano. His story is unlike almost any I've ever heard in the history of being a sports writer, and just sort of stumbled into it because he needed work and figured out how to become a writer. So if you want to support somebody who's doing stuff that is fun for the right reasons, I tell you that Primo is on Amazon. You can also say it Primo. That's the way that you're supposed to say it on Amazon, Primo. And again, the ebook is Action Hero Scouting Report. Thank you for being on with us, sir. Good talking to you.
Thank y'all so much. What a tremendous amount of fun.
Thank you, Shea.
I'm going to finally be able to get to basketball expertise with our internationally renowned name
Amin Elhassan.
for the
Hassan,
ages. Yeah, that is good timing by Chris Cody. As always,
Long pause by you.
Yeah, giving you time to find
Amin
it
Elhassan.
because it's a little slower when you're in charge.
Just
so.
find it, not find it and play it.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
I just needed it found. I didn't need it played while I was talking. But you can play it
Amin
now. But you can.
Amin Elhassan.
You could play
Amin
it
Elhassan.
when I want.
Amin Elhassan.
So we get the timing.
Amin Elhassan. Hassan.